بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق والمرسلين سيدنا محمد الصادق الوعد الأمين أما بعد. So inshallah today we'll continue and we'll finish our beautiful journey in learning how to pray and to make wudu with Surah Al-Fatiha and so on and so forth. SubhanAllah, it went quickly. But inshallah, if you haven't had a chance to watch to join the other Zooms that we have done before, you can join. You can actually watch it on YouTube. And this is series number 4. And inshallah, we're gonna start now. So we mentioned wudu, but we're gonna mention it really quickly. So because it's gonna be one of the condition of Salah, since we mentioned it before. And I made it at the end in a nice way. I hope it's nice for everybody. I mean, you can try it. If it works, it works. I'll make it in a song way. And if that helps, yeah, inshallah. If it doesn't help, you like to memorize it in order or with pictures, wherever is the work best case for you, you just need to work towards it. So as I mentioned, the first thing we do is intention and wudu. After intention, we have hands, mouth, nose, hands, mouth, nose, face, elbows, hands, mouth, nose, face, elbows, hair, ears, foot, hands, mouth, nose, face, elbow, hair, ears, foot. I hope that was clear. Just make it simple way that way you can memorize it. Now let's move on to how can we make salat. Alhamdulillah, we've done how to make salat al-fajr or any salah with 2 rak'ah. Now let's learn how to do salat al-maghrib. It's exactly the same thing, but as you remember, Fajr is only 2 rak'ah, Maghrib is 3 rak'ah. So there is an additional rak'ah that we have. And that additional rak'ah will be the one in the middle, because the first one and the last one in Fajr, first and the second, they'll be the same as the first one in Maghrib and the last one in Maghrib. So the one in the middle, what do we say? I'm going to go through it one more time, just really quickly. Then we can, inshallah, move on to the next point. So in order to perform Maghrib, as we mentioned, it's 3 rak'ah. We start by the intention, then we face the Qiblah, then we say Takbiratul Ihram, Allahu Akbar. The right hand should be on the left hand, this way. All right, it's okay. The right hand on the left hand. Then we say Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. After Surah Al-Fatiha, as we mentioned, it's sunnah to read a small surah. I'm going to read Surah Quraysh as an example. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Then we say Allahu Akbar. Remember the hand next to the ears, not above, not below. Allahu Akbar. Then we go to the Ruku' Sujood. Ruku'. Then we say Subhan Rabbiyal A'la 3 times, at least 1. And you can go as mentioned as much as you want. So at least 1. The sunnah is 3. Then we stand Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamida with the hands moving. Then we go down Allahu Akbar to the sujood. And we mentioned it's very important in sujood. The forehead and the nose are one piece out of 7. The forehead and nose, then both hands, both knees, and both feet. Those 7 greatest should touch the ground. And now we sit, then we go back to sujood. In between the 2 sajda, there is a time that we sit. And after we do that, we stand back up. In sujood, we say Subhan Rabbil Azim, at least 1. And the sunnah is 3 times. And it's really recommended to follow how the Prophet ﷺ taught us how to pray. Then after that, we move on. We stand back up. So guys, remember, we just finished the first rak'ah. Now we're standing back up. What do we read? The same exact thing. We start with by Surah Al-Fatiha. Then we read a small surah. Then we say Allahu Akbar. Now, ruku', standing back up, Sami Allah liman hamid, then you go to the sujood. On sujood, now this is the second sujood. Guys, in Salah, the second sujood, you have to sit down. You have to stay down. After we say Subhan Rabbil Azim 3 times, the second time we sit and we start reading at-tashahhud. Now, because this Salah, Maghrib Salah, is 3 rak'ah, in the middle, you said we have to sit, the second one. What can we say? We're going to say at-tashahhud. Now, I just want you to see what I'm pointing at. That way you can have an idea. Just a lot of people like visual and some here and there. So we should be more here and there. Let's see. Here we go. So now, since it's the second rak'ah, we're going to say التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Now, after we say this, we stand back up. Do we say the second part, which is Allahumma salli? No. We don't say the Salah Ibrahimiyya. In the second rak'ah, we only say the tashahhud, which is at-tahiyyatu lillahi ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That's it. You don't say the Salah Ibrahimiyya. Salah Ibrahimiyya only at the end. And it has to be included with the tahiyyatu lillah, with tashahhud, and Salah Ibrahimiyya, both together. Now, imagine I just said the tashahhud. Now I stand back up. Say Allahu Akbar. I read Surah Al-Fatiha. Then I read another different surah or the same surah, or you don't have to read another surah if it's sunnah to read another surah, but it's really recommended to do so. So after we do that, we say Allahu Akbar. Subhan Rabbiyal A'la wa Azim Al-Azim. Subhan Rabbiyal Azim 3 times and stand back up. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Then we go down to sujood. When in sujood, as I mentioned, 3 times Subhan Rabbiyal A'la. Now, here, after we sit and we go back to sujood, now we sit again. That's the final sitting. Remember, guys, it's Maghrib, 3 rak'ah. This is the final sitting. We're going to say the whole thing again. So we're going to start from here. التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات. السلام عليك أيها النبي وعلى عباد الله ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Then we move to the second part, which is the Salah Ibrahimiyya. And it says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين. Then we move into the second part, which is Allahumma barik. We said Allahumma salli, now barik. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Then at that part, we can make a dua, any dua that you want. After we do that, we Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the right side, then we move to the left side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now, there is one thing that I want to mention. When do we make, when in the Salah do we make dua? Well, there is 7 places in Salah that we make dua. What? 7 places? I thought it's only 1 or 2. Well, there is 7. What are those 7 places? It's very interesting. The first dua that we have is once we say Allahu Akbar. Remember the dua that we said, Rabbi shrah li sadri, and no, it's Rabbi shrah li sadri, sorry. Is اللهم طهرني اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما بعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. That dua الاستفتاح that we mentioned, that's the first place that we make dua. The second place, when we go to sujood, to ruku', when you say Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, that is a dua. That is a dua by itself. That's the second thing. Then we stand up, we say Sami Allah liman hamida. That is a third place that we can make a dua. And you pretty much you see that on Salat al-Fajr, very often, specifically in Bilad al-Sham, they do that every Fajr, or sometimes in Fajr Salah. On the second rak'ah, when we say Sami Allah liman hamida, Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt, and so on and so forth. The dua doesn't have to be in Arabic, could be in English. We got in touch in that before. Just highlight it. Then the 4th place is in sujood. I think a lot of people know that. Now that's the 4th place. Then another one is in between the sajda. you know, in between the sujood, there is a sitting. We say, Rabbi ghfirli. That is a form of dua. Oh Allah, forgive my sins. Oh Allah, forgive me. Rabbi ghfirli. That's a dua. Then the last two, the last one is going to be very interesting. But the one before the last is, we just mention it once before we say Assalamu alaikum. We can, after we say Tahiyyatullah, which is Salah Ibrahimiyya, before we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, we can make a dua. And the last part, and that has a condition. Let me say the condition. You can pray it in non-compulsory salah, meaning if you're praying sunnah salah or nafil salah or extra salah, that is not part of the 5 daily salah. It's not part of the 5 daily salah, you can do with that dua. What is that dua? Once you read the Quran, it's in the qira'ah itself, such as if you are reading a place that talks about Jannah, you can ask Allah to grant us Jannah. I'm going to read it as an example. Imagine I'm reading an ayah after I've read the Surah Fatiha. I'm saying, فيها أنهار من عسل مصفى. Talking about the rivers of Jannah, specifically the one that has honey. You can make, oh Allah, we ask you to be there, inshallah. Allah, we ask you Jannah. Oh Allah, we ask you such and such. Or if we talk about the punishment, we can ask Allah to prevent us from adab, from al-adab, and so on and so forth, from the punishment of the Day of Judgment. It's not the judgment, the punishment of the grave, or the punishment of any punishment that ayat talks about. But again, this dua, when you say it on salah, it's okay in one condition, if it's not compulsory salah. It's not one of the 5. If it's not one of the 5 salawat that we have, which is Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Okay, I hope that was clear. Because now we're gonna move on to a different part. I know that now. Oh yeah, Salat al-Isha and Asr and Dhuhr. What about them? We pray 4, not 3, or not 2. How can we do it? I'm gonna do it inshallah in a short way. How do you perform it? It's exactly the same thing, but we're gonna increase 1 more rak'ah. Imagine we're praying Maghrib. Remember Maghrib is 3. We can add 1 more. Now, the first rak'ah, gonna do everything the same. The second rak'ah, everything the same. The third rak'ah, we're not gonna sit down. In Maghrib, we do sit down. Remember? In Maghrib, we do sit down. In Isha, Isha, Asr, and Dhuhr. I don't know why I got confused, but yeah, you got the idea. In Isha, Asr, and Dhuhr, we stand back up. We don't sit down. We sit down in the last rak'ah. So keep that in mind, okay? On the last rak'ah, we sit down. On the third rak'ah, on Asr and Isha and Dhuhr, we don't sit down. We stand back up because we still have 1 more rak'ah. Okay, so now let's move on to another part. And this part is going to be a little bit interesting. In Salah, you know, sometimes you're praying by yourself, right? And sometimes you're praying behind the Imam, or you're the Imam. Now, if you're praying behind the Imam, there's certain things also you have to fulfill. So, such as if the Imam isn't starting praying and you miss the first rak'ah, do you just continue and say Salaam alaikum? No. So in the salah itself, pay attention how many rak'ah you've done, and you need to make them up, the one that you haven't done. So don't just say Assalamu alaikum and you're done. No, you gotta make sure that I'm gonna give you an example. Imagine that you're praying Maghrib, and the Imam was standing up, and he moved to the sujood, he moved to the ruku', then say Sami Allah alhamdulillah, he went to the sujood, and he said Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. At that point, you realize that it's Maghrib, and you realize Maghrib has 3 rak'ah, and you only done 1 of them, and you're missing 2. What does that mean? You have to stand back up before, when the Imam say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. At that point, when the Imam say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you stand up and make up what you have missed. That's very important, guys, in order to fulfill the salah. Now, as I mentioned, if you're praying behind the Imam, you shouldn't be faster than the Imam. What? Can we? Yes, you shouldn't be faster than the Imam. We should follow the Imam. And if you don't know what the word Imam means, I mean, you can interpret it as a leader, the one who's, leading the salah. And we should have only one imam praying in front of us. And you can't pray for one or two, or like you gotta decide. And you can't make two jama'ah. Jama'ah is a group of people praying. You can't make two jama'ah in one masjid. The Prophet ﷺ told us not to do that. So to stick and to stay united, we should make one jama'ah at the same masjid. But if that prayer is already done, they can make up another jama'ah. But that's a different topic. Now, we cannot, just keep in mind, we cannot be fast in the salah, and also we cannot be slow in the salah. Slow and fast, yes. So let me see which one I got. Oh, not this one. So as I mentioned, we shouldn't be slow in the salah, and we should be fast. We should follow who? The imam. I hope I was clear. All right. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Okay. Can we guys laugh in the salah? Nope, we shouldn't laugh in the salah. Remember that when you pray, the word praying or the word salah means the connection between you and Allah. And subhanallah, if somebody in a higher place, like the president or somebody that you are, afraid of meeting, it doesn't have to be afraid of meeting, somebody's high status than you, how much, like, subhanallah, how good you wear, like, or how more you spray of mist or so on and so forth, a good perfume that you put, or you shave and you do such a good things just to meet that person. Imagine, guys, you are meeting Allah. You're literally meeting Allah in the salah. And the word salah means as-sila. As-sila means the connection between you and Allah. So keep that in mind when you pray. So we shouldn't be laughing. What else? Can we, if we need to use the bathroom, can we go pray and then go use the bathroom? No, you shouldn't be, wiggling around and in the salah. So if that happened to you, that you really need to use the bathroom, or for some reason that the air came out, you should leave the salah. How can you leave the salah? You cannot just, oh, I'm leaving the salah. No, I think I mentioned it before. You have to do, even if you're like standing up, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Then leave the salah. Even if you're standing up or sitting down, it doesn't matter. At the moment that the air come out, you have to leave the salah and just rewatch. You make your wudu and join them if you can, or just make up the salah that you missed. Okay, something is very important. Guys, do you notice when you go to the masjid, everybody is the same. We all stand next to each other. Nobody's better than nobody, right? In the salah. And one of the things that we need to pay attention to is standing up straight and lining up the edges of the heel. So the heel should be lined up in the salah once we pray next to each other. And one more thing that I have in mind is, it's about bleeding. If you're bleeding in the salah, you shouldn't be praying. Yeah, you should take care of yourself. If it's a little bit, it's not much. It's when I talk bleeding, it's like bleeding, really bleeding. You shouldn't be praying. Just wound up and go to the hospital. When everything is good, then because it's in the Shafi'i madhab, it talks about it. You cannot pray if you're bleeding, but in other madhab it's fine. So it's not a big deal. So try not to be bleeding while you're praying. I know salah is very important. You can do it after you get the medical attention, because you might die while you're performing the salah, and that's something that we shouldn't do. Okay. So now, okay. Now I'm gonna share my. Just give me a second. Okay. Let me resume. All right, so let's continue where we stopped. Let me share this really quickly. Some of this topic we already have touched on it, but it's okay to ensure. Now, what do you guys see here? Okay, this is good. Yeah. What do you guys see wrong here, guys? As you see,
His hands are above his head.
okay, good. Thank you so much. You can, okay, beautiful. You notice that the hand is above his head, which is not how we're supposed to make it. The ears and the shoulder, in between the ears and the shoulder, shouldn't be above or below or behind. It should be, this motion. Allah, Allahu Akbar. Beautiful. All right. Now here, as you notice, it's below the shoulder. We said in between here and here. That was so easy. Now let's move on to the next one. And here is actually telling us the proper way of making it, which is in here. See the ears and the shoulders? He made it next to the ears, which is totally fine as well. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay. Now here, he making it below the belly button, and that's wrong. It should be above the belly button and the chest. So from here, you see this line all the way to the chest, and it should be above the chest. So that's also, yep, it's literally on the neck. That's not supposed to be on the neck. As I mentioned, here from the chest all the way down above the belly button to the chest, not the neck. Next. Now, what do we have here wrong? Oh, if you know, you can raise your hand or unmute yourself. Okay. Lauren, go ahead.
His hands are like crossing each other.
Yes, that's wonderful. They shouldn't cross each other. How we're supposed to do it? Remember, guys, the right hand will be on top of the left hand, either holding it this way or holding it that way. You shouldn't do that. That's what I meant. Okay, next here, what do we have? That's the proper way of making it. As you see, you have a check mark. All right, now, what do we have here? What? No, we shouldn't make, you see how is his foot? He's putting one foot on top of the other. That's not supposed to be there, right? So how we're supposed to do it? Oh, how we're supposed to do it? Well, we'll see it in this picture right here. As you notice, his foot are next to each other and both foot are touching the ground. Now here, what is he wrong? And he's making it a little bit bigger here. As you notice, his forehead is touching. So what's the problem? The forehead is good. The nose. Remember, the nose and the forehead should be one piece? Yes. So let's move on to the next one. Here, he's doing the opposite. Well, his nose, it's not the opposite. Just to make it clear, his nose and forehead are touching. Can anybody notice the mistake here? If you know. Okay, I'll say it. This one is actually really interesting. If you notice here, you will see his hand. All of this, it's not the hand touching, the hand and the forearms, all of it are touching. It's like the dog, right? That's how the dog sit. And the Prophet ﷺ told us not to do like that, not to pray like that, not to pray like the dog sit. So we shouldn't do that in the Salah. All right, I hope that was clear. And the proper way is, as you notice, the hand is touching, not the whole forearms and the feet and the nose and the head, all of them next to each other. Next, as you notice, we got a little bit in touch in the feet. There is something we said al-iftirash, which is putting your left foot, sitting on the left foot and sit or stand the right foot. We'll see example. This one is wrong. Don't put your feet on top of each other like that. This is absolutely wrong, right? Well, what about this? If that is wrong, what about this? What about this one? This is also wrong. We shouldn't make it this way. How is the right way? This is the right way. And this sit called the iftirash. That's how we're supposed to sit. The left foot, as you notice right here, is sitting on the left foot and the right foot is standing. I hope that was clear. And, oh, wow. All right. Now, what do we have here wrong? As you notice, remember when we talked about the ruku', we said the back of your back should be straight. Is this back straight? I don't see that straight, so it's bending all the way down. Is that good? Some people think, oh, the more you bend, the better it becomes. No, my friend, no. It shouldn't be that way. So it should be straight line, straight line. So let's move on to the second page. Oh, what about this dude now? He's making it, he can't. Look, if he couldn't, out of weakness in his back, some people have a problem with the lower back, so they might do it this way. That's fine in that case. If they cannot physically do that, that's fine. What if he can, but I'm lazy, I don't want to do it all the way, so I'm going to do it halfway, or like quarter, like 45 degree. That's wrong. That's going to affect the salah. Now let's move on. Oh yeah, look guys, it's not 100% 90 degree, but it's you see, that's good, that's decent. Okay, now next, how is our feet position should be? Should it be close to each other or way a big gap in between them? No, we shouldn't make it too close or too far. What is the normal? You see your shoulder? How far is your shoulder between this shoulder and the other? The same distance here should be this next to your foot. What does that mean? Let me show you. You guys notice here the shoulder? If you go all the way down, you notice the feet is here. If you go the other shoulder all the way down, the feet is here. So that's the proper measurement between the shoulders, go all the way down. I hope that was beautiful and clear. And nothing wrong here. He's talking about the salah and some conditions in the salah. The takbirat al-ihram, and so on and so forth. Okay. All right, beautiful. Now, we still have a little bit more here that we need to cover. Okay. Now, we mentioned this, and this is a live picture on somebody. As you mentioned, his foot, he put it on top of each other, which is not supposed to, right? The right way could be this one, or that one, or this one. All of them are correct. All of them are correct. Okay, and what about this? What's wrong with this one? Look, his hand, it's not touching his knees. It's below his knees. That's wrong as well. Your hand is supposed to touch your knees, as you see right here in this picture, right? What about this dude here? He's doing above his knees, the same problem. You shouldn't be above or below. You should be average in the knee itself. Okay, don't complicate it, make it simple. Next, we got in touch in here. You see the arrow? Like the dog, the Prophet told us not to do it, not to make sujood like a dog. So your hand, only hand should touch the ground, not the hand and the forearms together as a one piece. No. Okay. And the same as here. Hope that was clear. Don't make it so narrow and don't make it so far from each other. Next to the shoulders, just all the way, follow it around. Now, what are we supposed to be looking on the place of sujood? If you notice here, he's looking at his foot, literally in his foot. That's not right. And what about the one under it? He's looking on the TV, for example. If he has his TV on him, he's like, yeah, I'm praying. I'm praying, I'm watching at the same time. Wow, double. No, that's not correct. We shouldn't do that. Where we're supposed to be looking at, if you notice here, there is a circle, and that circle here indicate the place where your head's supposed to be located when you put it on the ground. So that's where your eyes supposed to be looking. How that was clear. Now, we did talk about the feet. When you go to the sujood, both feet supposed to touch the ground, not one of them. Don't do it that way as well. So, yeah, I hope that was clear as well. Now, I know we talked about it, but it's really cool to see it in pictures. As you notice here, you see there is a gap in his nose, right? Between his nose and the floor, which is incorrect. We mentioned the nose and the forehead as one piece. Both of them should touch the ground at the same time. Now, next. Oh, what do we have here? So somebody is standing up, and the whole people are standing up as well. And there is one guy still on the floor saying, Subhan Rabbiyal Azim, and he's very late. I think we mentioned being slow on the salah, right? We shouldn't be slower than the imam or faster than the imam. We should follow the imam. Okay. All right. All right. And this is a wonderful picture as well. As you see here, this guy is doing a really good job. His nose and forehead, his hands, his knees. But look at his feet. What? They're kind of floating. Is he swimming or praying? That's interesting. Well, the feet's supposed to be on the ground. Now, what about this guy? This guy is looking, he's actively looking behind him. Is he watching TV behind him or what's going on? Anyway, that's we're not supposed to do that, guys. Don't make your forehead and look under in between your legs. Who's there and who's walking behind you? Remember, guys, we're praying for Allah, and we should be listening. Okay. Somebody wanna have a question so far, Lauren?
Are the legs for the second one with the red shirt, are the legs supposed to be like that? Like, could they be like that?
That's a good point. No, we should be having separated meaning. The proper way of making it, if you look here, yeah, if you look here in the one on top, you see it? There is his feet is touching and his knees is touching. Not all of them as one piece. No, there are 4 different pieces because I'm talking about 2 feet that he has. On the other hand, here we shouldn't do that. Okay. Good job for spotting that. Now, what do we have here? I think this is a little bit clear that this guy is very slow. Is he slow or he is not doing it properly? He's not doing it properly all the way. He's supposed to make it 90 degree. What if he has an injury and he can't do it all the way? In that case, it's fine because he need to pray, but if he couldn't make it in a right way, he can pray while he was sitting, by the way. He doesn't have to actively stand up if there is a rukhsa. I think we mentioned it a little bit in the last video, but it's okay to mention it again. A rukhsa is like, if you can't make it when you stand up, you can make it when you sit down. If you can't make it when you sit down, you can make it when you're lying down. If you can make it when you're lying down, you can make it with your eyes, just moving your eyes with the intention that you want to pray and so on and so forth. I hope that was clear. Okay, the feet, let's go right here. What do we have? His feet is actually away and you can actually see his nose. That means the nose is not touching and only the forehead is touching, which is wrong. And what about those group right here under? Yeah, as you notice, the hand of this guy is moving to the side. Well, moving to the side it's fine. It should be fine. But remember, guys, we said if we are praying in the masjid and you're gonna bother somebody, you should make it next to you. You shouldn't make it if you're praying by yourself. Yes, fine, you can do that. Otherwise, if you're praying with there is people next to you, you shouldn't be bothering them or like cutting their khushu' if they're praying with khushu' and so on and so forth. So put your hand next to you and don't bother others. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Next we have this one. Now the first picture, why is it wrong? Because he's not facing the Qiblah. He's praying somewhere else. I don't know which Qiblah he's looking for, but you know, the group is following that Qiblah. The Qiblah is here. So that's a problem. We should follow the Qiblah, not anywhere that we should pray. Now this guy here, why is it a problem? Who knows? He's not sitting. He's actually standing. If he has a problem, I would understand. But otherwise, if he's just making it for fun or he's just not following the right direction just because he wants to do so, that's wrong. He should be sitting. Now, as you see here, his left foot is sitting on it, the right foot is doing, that's the right way. That's how we supposed to do it. On the other hand, I think we got in touch a lot in these, so you should be an expert at this point. All right, okay. I have so many animations, so I was just gonna make it clear that we know what we're doing in the Salah because, guys, what is the difference between us as a Muslim and the non-Muslim? The Salah. The Prophet ﷺ told us the only difference between you and them, which is the kuffar, disbelievers, is the Salah. Guys, subhanAllah, imagine guys you're at the airport, okay? And there's so many nationalities. You know, there is a Chinese and Filipino, Indian, there's Palestinian, there is Egyptian, there is so on and so forth. Pakistani. When it's time for Asr, they're all gonna be in the chapel or the place that they have in the airplane, and they're all gonna pray. The woman will cover their head. So subhanAllah, this is something unique. That's something gonna make us different than them. And not only in this earth, and also in the hereafter, because inshallah we're gonna guarantee Jannah by performing the salah. And the Prophet ﷺ says the first thing that we'll be accountable for is the salah. So guys, make sure that you're doing your salah. And one thing about salah, if you don't make salah, guys, you gotta make it up, but not here in this life. You're gonna make it up on the day of judgment, on Jahannam. A'udhu billah, Allahumma nas'aluka al-Jannah. But just a reminder, just make sure you make it. If you didn't, for example, if you didn't make Fajr, once you wake up, just make Fajr. You think, Sam, why did you make it up? Because maybe you didn't sleep well, or you didn't put the alarm, or you didn't try to work yourself up and to get better. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Can we look around in the salah? No, we shouldn't. No. All right. Now we've gotten touching this and this. I have now a question. Now, we have about 13 questions here. I will answer some of them. And I want you guys to raise your hand if you want to participate. Why the first guy here? All of them are making at least one mistake. And who wants to raise his hand to tell me why number one is okay? You can participate more than one. Let's see, Raid. Go ahead, Raid. Why the first guy is not, his salah is not correct, or he's not performing salah? Raid, go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
He's looking the wrong way.
Because he is?
He's looking the wrong way.
He's looking around in the salah, or probably he's talking. All right, that's wrong. That's why we shouldn't look around in the salah where our eyes should be located on the ground. I see Larine. All right, thank you, Raid. We'll see. We'll try to get as many answers. And we can come back to you, inshallah, if nobody answers. So, Larin, go ahead. Why the second guy, his salah is not correct, or he's not performing salah correctly?
Because he needs to use the bathroom, but he didn't go before the salah, and he didn't leave the salah.
What should he do at that point? Can he continue the salah, or he should leave the salah?
Leave the salah.
Okay, leave the salah, use the bathroom, make wudu, and join them again. Thank you so much, Larin. Beautiful. All right, number 3, Lujain. Can you please tell us why number 3 his salah is not correct?
Because he's laughing.
Ooh, laughing. I think we got in touch in that, right, Lujain? All right, beautiful.
Huh?
I think we talked about it today. We shouldn't be laughing in the salah, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Who else? Who wants to tell me why number 4 is wrong? I want different people. All right, let's see here. Arif, I think that's Hamza. Okay, Hamza, go ahead. Hamza?
Because he's eating.
He's eating shawarma. Who likes shawarma, guys? We all like shawarma, but still, we can't eat while we pray, right, guys? I hope that was clear. So what about number 5? All right, I see people who participated want to participate again. Sure, we'll do that. What about Sophia? What about Rania? What about the others?
I'll do.
All right, go ahead, Abdurrahman. Why number 5?
He's bleeding.
He's bleeding. Oh, we mentioned that. You should take care of yourself when you're gonna pray. Great. Thank you so much, Abdurrahman. What about number 6? What's going on here? What does he have? Let's see. Okay, I see 2 people raising their hand. Anybody else? Okay, I see. Okay. All right, I'm gonna choose Raid again. We'll go in order.
Because he's wearing shorts and
He's wearing shorts. What's the problem with wearing shorts, man?
because your garments need to go underneath your knees.
Thank
Also,
you.
he needs to cover his shoulders.
Thank you. Yes, in the Salah, from the neck to the knees should be covered, right? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. What about number 7? Right, number 7. You want to make it closer or you can see it? All right, I'll make it closer. Let's just make it as it is. What do you guys think about number 7? Let's see. Larin?
Yeah.
Why Larin number 7? His salah is not right.
Because his his heel is not lined up with the other ones.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Good job. The heel, guys, that's a mistake that a lot of people don't pay attention to, which is once they perform salah, they put the tip of their toes as a line, which is incorrect. What should we do? The heel, as you notice, the heel is the line, right? Okay, we're gonna skip number 8. We're gonna skip number 8. We're gonna move to number 9. Why number 9 is wrong? If you know, raise your hand. We'll come back to number 8 though. It's not the end. Let's see. Who do you have? We have Hamza. Go ahead, Hamza.
Because he's looking at the sky
Oh yeah. Where should be looking, Hamza?
on the ground,
Where exactly on the ground? Be specific.
like 2 feet in front.
Yes, or you can say on the place of sujood, or the place that your forehead and nose will touch the ground. That's the place that you should be looking. Thank you, Hamza. That was amazing. What about the next guy? Who knows? All right. Oh, we have, let's see. Who didn't? Oh, Rania. I think that's Abdurrahman's sister. Go ahead. All right, you can. I'm asking you to unmute yourself. She didn't participate yet. Abdurrahman, tell your sister she can answer. Why number? Yes.
I'll do
Number
next
10.
one.
Number 10. Why?
Right. Can you let me do number 8?
Hamza, we'll do it at the end. What about number 10?
I'll do next one.
You wanna do the next one? Okay, tell me why number 11 is not right. You notice there is a big word on top of head's head. It's saying صراط الذين أنعمت
Second loud.
He's saying it loud. Good job. Thank you. So in the salah, guys, we shouldn't read out loud, right? Unless if you're the imam and you're praying and there's people behind you and it's salah. Oh, there's something we're gonna get in touch with, the jahriya and the secret salah. We'll talk about it after we finish this, and we're gonna finish up with that, inshallah. All right, thank you so much, guys. But we skipped number 8 and number 10. Who wants to tell me why number 10 is wrong? Let's see. We have Rat Quraishi, Arif Quraishi, good. Quraishi family. Oh, Lujain. Okay, let's see. Lujain, she participated only one. Then we're gonna go to Rad. Next, Lujain. Why Lujain? Number 10. What's the mistake that he's making? Oh, nice. Everybody want to participate. That is cool. Yalla, Lujain.
His legs are too close.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes, his legs are too close. Remember, guys, how would we measure it? If you look at the shoulders of your feet should match your shoulders distance. Now, what about number 12? Who did we say is gonna make it next? All right, let's yeah, Rania, you can do it one more time. You can, sure. Yes.
He's slow.
He's what?
Slow.
He's taking long.
Yes.
Yeah, he's taking a long time to stand up. Is that right or not? We shouldn't be slow in the salah. We should be no slow and no fast. We should be normal in between both of them, right? Thank you so much. All right. So now, what about number 13, Abdul Rahman? Can you tell me why number 13 is he's wrong?
Because he's not looking at the right way.
Meaning he's not following the
He's not doing
Qiblah.
the
Yeah. Thank you, Abdul Rahman. That was beautiful. He's not following the Qiblah. Guys, your salah will be wrong if you're purposely not following the Qiblah. But if you're not tried and you ask people, and alhamdulillah, we have technology, we can find it on our phone. Even in our phone, sometimes we get it wrong. But you have to try your best and to ask, alhamdulillah, there's message everywhere. There is one thing that we skipped, which is number 8. Guys, I want you to think about it. Okay? Why number 8 is wrong, and I'll get the answers. Let me see who raised his hand. All right, I see Rania, I see Hamza. Who else? Think about it, guys. I'll make it a little bit closer. Sorry. All right, let's continue. Let's go back. I'll make a, I hope that was clear. Let's see. Is that better or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, who raised his hand? How many? Participant. All right, so far I see Rania, Larine, and Hamza. Okay. Let's see, Larine, what do you think? What do you think, Larine? I'm not gonna say yes or wrong, but I'm gonna hear everybody at this point because that's the last one. Okay.
Okay.
Larine, what?
I think it's because like his left hand is over his right hand, and it's supposed to be the opposite.
Maybe. What about you, Hamza?
Same thing.
Same thing. Rania?
I think it's facing forward.
He's facing forward. Let me see. He's facing forward. Well, you can't tell 100%, but he's actually the same as this guy, you notice, and this guy. They're all looking here, somewhere here in this area. Who else wanna have some suggestion? Who have other suggestion? Abdurrahman, what do you think?
I think he's sleeping.
He's sleeping? Oh,
Yep.
that might be an option. All right. Before we end, he's not sleeping and he's not looking somewhere else. His hand is wrong, guys. Remember, the right hand should be on top of the left hand. Look, if you pay a little bit of attention, look here. Look his hand. This guy's right hand on top of the left, right hand on top of the left. Look at this guy, left on top of the right. Is that correct? No. So I hope that was clear. And thank you everybody whoever participated. That was really nice. Before we end, we're gonna talk about something in the salah. Sometimes in the salah, we hear the imam is reading out loud, right? And sometimes we don't hear him reading. He's like, Allahu Akbar, without saying anything out loud, right? When do we read stuff out loud and when we don't read it? And when do we, subhanAllah, let's learn about it. This is interesting, right? Well, in certain salah, you have to read out loud. In other salawat, you have to read it not out loud. You gotta read it within yourself. And some other salawat, you gotta read it both. Some within yourself and some out loud.
Why?
Why? That's how the Prophet ﷺ prayed. And we're going to follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ because he told us, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Pray as you saw me pray. And I mentioned that on the first day, we didn't see the Prophet ﷺ praying, but there is a detailed scripture on the hadith, such as Bukhari, Muslim, Ibn Baz, and so on and so forth. It talks about the Sahaba. They wrote down how the Prophet ﷺ perform salah. So everything is detailed in the books of fiqh and so on and so forth. I hope that was clear and that was the answer for you, Lujain. But let's continue. Now let's have an example. If that salah is extra, meaning if it's salah is nafil, it's not part of the compulsory salah that we have. You have the option to read it out loud, or it's up to you. If that salah is out of the 5 salawats, it's not part of the 5 salawat, you have the option to read it secretly or out loud. Now, if you're praying with a group, you're the leader, yes, you gotta read it out loud. But if you're praying by yourself, you have the option to read it out loud or not out loud. All right. So now we have, okay, Harif, Hamza has a question. Or are you still raising your hand from the previous? Okay. Abdurrahman, do you have a question so far?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yes.
What if I come late to the salah,
Oh, what
like
if
at the second rak'ah?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it, but we'll say it one more time. That's totally fine. If you came late in the salah on the second rak'ah, you gotta, pay attention which salah you're praying. Let's say you're praying Dhuhr. You missed 2 rak'ah. You calculate how many rak'ah you missed. Make them up. When the imam say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You didn't say the same thing as the imam. You don't say Assalamu alaikum. You stand up and you make up what you already missed. I hope that was clear. Was it?
It was, but I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
When do, at what part in the salah or rak'ah do I have to repeat it? Like at the sujood, or like at what part?
Literally, when the imam say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, at that moment, you don't say Assalamu alaikum, you stand up and you make up what you already missed. That's the time that you make up the salah. That you the part of the salah that you make it up, that you didn't make in the salah itself. Does that make sense?
I get this part, but I'm talking about like if I came like at the middle of the second rak'ah, do I still have to repeat it?
Yes. That's important. Yes. We start calculating once the imam say Allahu Akbar for ruku'. And when he do ruku', not sujood, guys. Sujood is when your forehead touch the ground. Ruku', we say Subhan Rabbi al-Azim. Remember? If the imam says Sami Allahu and he stand, at that point, that rak'ah, consider 1. It's already, you already missed it. If you came to the salah, let me give you a scenario. Now, let's say I'm the imam, I'm praying Allahu Akbar, then I'm doing sujood. In sujood, we say Subhan Rabbi al-Azim. They stand back up. At the moment I say if the imam said Sami Allahu liman hamida, at that point, if somebody joined, he missed the rak'ah that already did. Does that make sense? But if I'm still reading Surah Al-Ikhlas, لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد, I say Allahu Akbar. At this moment, if he joined the salah, at this moment while I'm doing ruku', subhanallah, his rak'ah count as he joined at the beginning. It's fine. Does he get the full reward? No. So if you want to get the full reward, you should join the salah with takbir al-ihram. But if you missed it out of, you're late, traffic, and things going around out of your hands, it happens. But thank you for that question. That was a wonderful one. What about you, Rania? Do you have a question?
What if you just almost fall on the floor?
What if you saw what on the floor?
Like he was praying and he felt like a fall. Like
Well,
almost tripped.
Go ahead, continue.
Like I almost tripped.
What if you're almost tripped while you're praying? Okay. If I'm praying and for some reason I tripped, I stand up, I continue praying. It's not something that I intentionally did, right? If it's not intentionally did, continue your salah. Stand up and fix yourself and continue your salah. What if something dangerous happened? Like there's a fire in the house and you're praying in the house or the masjid, anywhere, there's a fire there. Should you continue your salah? No, at this point, exit the salah, say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and help just close the fire, then you can make up the salah. So, all right. No problem. So let's continue. Now, Now let's continue. No, everybody is clear. No more questions, because I still have to cover when we're gonna make the salah secret and when it's gonna be out loud. As I mentioned before, if it's extra salah such as sunnah or nafila, you have the option, if you're praying by yourself, to do it out loud or secret. By doing, or secret, or if you're praying with somebody behind you as an exercise, say such as qiyamul layl or salat al-duha, you're praying with somebody else, which is a very noble thing, guys, to do, and you should try it. We'll talk about the sunan, inshallah, last 2 minutes or like 3 minutes, how many and how good they are. In Salat al-Fajr, which is the first prayer in the morning we do, both of them will be out loud. So you should hear the Imam reading everything out loud clearly. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and so on and so forth until he finishes. Everything should be out loud. What about Asr? Asr and Dhuhr. Both of them 4 rak'ah, both of them secret. You only hear the Imam saying Allahu Akbar after he finished secretly reading the Fatiha, and you should do the same thing. But if you couldn't, the Imam, it's like the Imam have read it for you, so you'll get the reward. Then we say Subhanallah, Sami Allah liman hamida. The Imam will say Sami Allah liman hamida, and so on and so forth. So the whole salah will be secret. So you wouldn't hear the Imam saying, reading Surah Fatiha or like a small surah or big surah, anything else. Now if we move on to the Salat al-Maghrib and Salat al-Isha, both of those, Maghrib 3, Isha 4. The first 2 of them, the first 2 rak'ah will be out loud. The second 1 or 2, either Maghrib or Isha, after 2 rak'ah, it's going to be secret. I hope that was clear. And there is something that I want to mention before we finish, because we, alhamdulillah, pretty much covered everything. I hope we covered everything, inshallah. And if you guys have questions, you feel free to do so, inshallah. Don't forget, this lecture is recorded, so anytime you can come back to it. It's going to be on YouTube, inshallah. And regarding the sunnah, the word sunnah, when you talk about sunnah salah, it's an extra salah that we have. Do we have to pray it? You don't have to, but it's really good when you do it, when you do so. Imagine, guys, you are in a day of judgment and Allah is telling you how is your salah. If it's good, everything else will be good. If it's not 100% good, what do we do? Allah is going to tell you, what about the extra salah that you did? What? Does those count? Of course they do. So the extra salah that we have will come and will complete the missing part that we have from the original salah. If that fulfills the whole salah, that we have everything 100% at that point, our salah will be completely right. And then the rest of our work will be fine. And the day of judgment, inshallah, will enter Jannah. So the extra salah, guys, is very important. How many? Well, it could be unlimited, but it depends what salah are you doing. And there is certain time that we're not supposed to pray. What is the certain time that we're not supposed to pray? Exactly on the time when the sun rises. That time, we shouldn't pray. And the another time, which is from Asr until Maghrib, after the praying of Asr, after we pray Asr until Maghrib, that time you shouldn't pray in it. Why? Well, the morning one, when the sun rises, because of the shayateen used to pray, and there is certain group used to pray for the sun, because they believe the sun is God. That's why we don't pray at that time, because we don't, you see what I mean? See how that goes? Because we don't worship the sun as the other does. So, and for night, because of the shayateen. Somebody's raising his hand. Dareen, do you have a question?
But if they pray for the sun, don't they like pray differently than us?
When they pray for the sun, they're not praying for Allah, and they're not Muslim, and their praying is totally different than our praying. And guys, remember, the first thing we do in the salah is the intention. So if your intention to pray for Allah, it's not for the sun. See what I mean? And so forth. I hope that answered that question. Now, let's talk about Salat al-Fajr, the Sunnah of Salat al-Fajr. The Prophet ﷺ told us about that Sunnah, which is the extra Salah before Salah. Before the Salat al-Fajr, he told us this 2 rak'ah that you do before Fajr, it's better than this life and everything in it. Imagine خير من الدنيا وما فيها. Guys, subhanAllah, think about how much wealth the people have in this life, the luxury cars. What's something that you are fabulous about, that you love, that you, subhanAllah, yes, I would love to be there, I would love to do this and this and this and this. All of that you love and you want is nothing compared to this 2 rak'ah before Fajr. The time. And I'm not talking about that only. Remember, before Fajr is the time when Allah actually himself come to the ground and ask his servant, anybody want any help or any question to answer or anything such as that. Now let's talk about this really quick. Fajr, there is 2 rak'ah before Fajr. Dhuhr, there is some debate. Some people say 4 before and 4 after. Some people say 2 before and 4 after, and some people say 4 before and 2 after. So you choose whatever works best for you. And think about it as a shield. If you guys make sure that you do the sunnah, the extra salah, do you think you're gonna miss the original salah, the 5 salawat that we have? There is no way. If the extra that you're doing, what about the one that you originally do? So think about it this way. It's like a shield, and also is gonna help you on the day of judgment to cover the salawat that you already missed, or you already performed, but Allah didn't accept it. So keep in your dua, oh Allah, accept our salawat, accept the praying that we do, accept our dua, and so on and so forth. Now, what about Asr? Asr 2 rak'ah before, because after Asr we cannot pray, right? What about Maghrib? 2 rak'ah after, because before, it's a prohibited time to pray. And finally, Isha, 2 rak'ah before the Salat al-Isha, 2 rak'ah after. Yeah. And that's it. Do you guys have any questions before we close the session? That's be it. That'll be it. Okay. I hope that was clear. We'll end up with a small dua. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Larine, what's up?
I thought we can play Look It after this.
Oh, I'm sorry, forgot about. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot about it. The time is running really quickly. Okay. If you want to stay, it's up to you. We're gonna take some questions here. It's just question and answer, okay? You're free to leave if you want. And if you want to join, you can. No problem.
Bye, Muslim.
Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum. All right, let's review this. Now, the opening discussion that we're gonna talk about a little bit, which is what is the importance of Salah? Who knows the importance of Salah? Raise your hand. Tareen?
It's for us to be connected with Allah.
Excellent, excellent. It's also one of the pillars of Islam. Shahada, Iqam as-Salah. Good. All right. Let's move on. Where is the second question? Oh my God. Okay. Oh man. No. Okay, I think we lost that. Okay. Is it, guys, is it necessarily to make wudu before Salah? Yes or no? Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Do you see the answers or no? You do, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll take it as a review because let me see. Yes, okay. What is the proper age or how many? Oh yeah. How many times a day should the Muslim perform Salah? How many times? Quickly, say it. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, or how many?
5.
5. Good. Yes. What about this? What is wudu, guys? Wudu is,
When
you can see the color.
Green.
All right, cool. Let's move on. What about this one? What is Salah? Prayer, charity.
Praying.
Prayer.
Okay, cool, cool. All right. What is the first pillar of Islam after Shahada?
Shahada.
After Shahada. Because Shahada, yes. Oh my, I missed that. No problem. What is the one of the prayer in a dirty place? Forbidden. So you should pray in a clean place, right? Not a dirty one. How many times a daily Muslim should pray? I think we'd guarantee that.
5.
5 or 6?
5.
Yes. Oh man, he got it wrong. It's 5. What is the direction of the prayer called?
Qiblah.
Thank you. See? Yes, it is Qiblah. All right. Oh, what is the first pillar in Islam?
Shahada.
I think we got that question. I don't know why it's repeated. That's okay. What is the second pillar of Islam? Somebody's typing. Let me see when. Yes, it is. All right. Yes, thank you, Omar. Good. Okay, that's interesting. Fasting, yeah. Okay, what about the third pillar in Islam? Remember Shahada? Oh,
Blue. Charity.
charity. See? Charity, good. Salah, ita zakah. Okay,
Hajj.
Hajj. I see. What makes me Hajj? That's very simple, right? What about the fifth one?
Fasting.
Is it fasting? No, it's al-Hajj. Alright. How many times a daily Muslim should perform wudu?
5.
Yep, it is 5. Alright. This. Can we make salah without wudu?
If they don't have water, then
If you have water, in this case we have water.
yeah.
We cannot. Good. What is the minimum age for salah, guys?
7.
7. Good job, Lauren. Alright, last question that we have is gonna be what is the time for Maghrib Salah? Midnight, sunrise, evening, afternoon. For Maghrib, what time guys do you pray? Question, how many rak'ah are there in Fajr Salah? If you
2.
2.
3 guys. See, it's gonna be good. Right. That'll be it, inshallah, for today. And jazakumullah khair for being here. Thank you, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.